Woo! Good morning. Welcome to our Sunday service. If you are here in person, we are so glad you braved the weather and you made it. If you're participating online, we hope you are dry and safe. I am Courtney O'Neill. I am today's worship associate. Reverend Rogers' sermon today is entitled Imagine a Religion, Reflections on Unitarian Universalism. The mission of our congregation says, we come together to deepen our lives and be a force for healing in the world. Toward this end, we acknowledge that UUSS exists on the occupied ancestral land of the Nisenan, Southern Maidu, and Miwok people. We acknowledge that they are the past, current, and future caretakers of this land. As we seek to develop the beloved community, let this acknowledgement be a first step toward respect for Indigenous peoples' history, lives, and voices. Our weekly message comes out on email every Friday with announcements and a note from our minister. You can find it on our website. If you'd like to follow what's happening today with an order of service, a printed copy is on the back table by the doors, or you can click on the link in the Zoom. Our weekly Blue Sheets announcements are also on the back table, and they are also online. Just a few highlights. The Depression Peer Support Program will meet at 12:30 today. Reverend Lucy and friends will host a gathering for interplay this Tuesday night at 7 o'clock in the Welcome Hall. If you'd like to learn more about the new art hanging on our sanctuary walls, join us for a reception with artist Sean Benito right here this Thursday at 5:30 p.m. There will be refreshments and it's free. Next Sunday morning is our monthly class on exploring Unitarian Universalism. Reverend Roger will be talking about the UU principles and sources. It's at 9:30 in the FOS room, and childcare is available. If you're new to UUSS, welcome. We are so glad you're here. Please fill out a newcomer's card either by the link to our website or at the welcome table after the service so that we can connect with you. For those at home, after the service, we have 12 minutes of conversation in Zoom breakout rooms. Here on campus, you can check out the connections table inside and enjoy coffee, tea, and conversation. Now, it is time to turn off your cell phones or turn them to silent so that we can all experience the service without any distractions. Again, welcome. Now, let us receive music for centering.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. It's good to be with all of you. A lot of people showed up, but So did you at home, so we're glad to be together. I'm Roger Jones. Our chalice lighting words are based on the words of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., whose birthday is today. He would be 94. And Annika Lundin will join Courtney to light our chalice. You'll see on the slide the words, and please respond to the words with the words that are in bold. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny.
Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
There are some things in our social system to which all of us ought to be maladjusted.
Hatred and bitterness can never cure the disease of fear. Only love can do that.
We must evolve for all human conflict a method which rejects revenge, aggression, and retaliation.
The foundation of such a method is love.
One day we must come to see that peace is not merely a distant goal that we seek, but a means by which we arrive at that goal.
We must pursue peaceful ends through peaceful means.
We shall hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope.
For we are indeed tied in a single garment of destiny. Like to take all of the kids, bring them up, and then they'll go out. Kids, go ahead, come on up now. You know this one. You gotta put
One foot in front of the other, and lead
with love. Put 1 foot in front of the other, and lead with love. You gotta put 1 foot in front of the other, and lead with love. Put 1 foot in front of the other, and lead with love. I know you're scared, and I'm scared too. But here I am, I beg you. You gotta put 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot, from one over the other. 1 foot, and lead with love. You gotta put 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot, from one over the other. 1 foot, 1 foot, and lead with love.
Today we have, besides Soul Kids for kindergarten through grade 5, we have the junior high youth group for grades 6, 7, and 8, and the first session of Our Whole Lives for grades 4, 5, and 6 started earlier. This is the time to lift up our joys and sorrows, and it will be followed by a prayer. And after the prayer, in word and in silence, we will receive a piano arrangement of the gospel song considered the favorite hymn of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Precious Lord, Take My Hand, was composed in 1938 by Thomas A. Dorsey, and it is in our gray hymnal. Dorsey is called the father of American gospel music. If you have a joy or a sorrow to be included in a service in the future, or just to let the ministers know, you can find a link in the weekly message email where you can submit it, or you can call the office during the week. Among our concerns is that my co-minister, the Reverend Lucy Bunch, had a COVID relapse this past week, and though she's better now, she is staying home today to be careful. And we wish her well, and we're glad that she does plan to be here this week. We extend our healing wishes to everyone who is dealing with COVID or the flu or other respiratory diseases. Among our joys is this one from Susan Jones, one of our members, providing support and assistance to a new family of 9 children from Afghanistan. 3-year-old Mashal Rahimi started half-day preschool last week and had no qualms about being left at the school on Monday. His father tells me that he is ready to go to school 15 minutes before everyone else, and Mashal is overjoyed about being in school like his big brothers and sisters. Thank you, Susan. We are grateful that Max Susia is home from the hospital with his wife Karen, and that Karen Robeson is back home with her partner Carl. Lynn Carlson is happy that her son is recovering well from surgery. To all of those in our circles of care who are healing or awaiting test results or procedures, or facing health challenges, or providing support and care to others, we send you prayers for strength. Many in California are suffering right now from the effects of extreme weather, including grief and hardship. Several people have died, others lost homes or businesses. Some have endured an extended outage of water or power. Families with children are confined and frustrated in many places. In Sacramento, the loss of so many trees is a source of sadness, and many of our unhoused neighbors are in danger in this weather. Let us give thanks for the service of those responding to the damage. We appreciate every act of generosity and help at this time. Many among us are grieving losses of those who have died recently, including Rick Myers, the brother of Dan Myers, Travis Silcox, the daughter of Betty Travis, Dorothy Allen, the sister of Elaine Cooper, John Schmelzer, the nephew of Jan Kelly, and Michael Daniels, the grandson of Diane Dodderidge. We extend our love and condolences to all of you, and we give thanks for their lives. On this day of what would have been the 94th birthday of the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., we remember his leadership and courage in the movement to achieve civil rights for Black Americans, dignity for poor people, and peace for all people. Through his words of eloquence, strategic brilliance, inclusive Christian faith, and a commitment to the principles of nonviolent resistance, he made the United States a better country. Knowing of the resistance he faced and the violence he suffered, let us honor his memory by hearing the voices of current leaders for racial and economic justice and responding to them. Let us heed their calls toward greater freedom, equity, and safety for all people. May they lead us to build a land of people so bold, where justice will roll down like waters and peace like an ever-flowing stream. Now, please join me in centering ourselves in an awareness of our breath. Take in a deep inhale breath and pause for a moment and then let it out. In. And now another inhale breath, pausing, and then let it out with a sigh. And now a third and final time, a deep inhale breath, pausing and letting it out with a sigh full of your spirit. And as we continue breathing together, I offer these words of prayer. O breath of life, Spirit of love, draw near to us. Bring us peace when we need it. Lead us to extend and share peace when we can. Remind us of the power of kindness and patience. When we are sad, hurting, mournful, and in need, bless us with comfort. When we feel uncertain in our lives, steady us. When we worry about our community, this country, this planet, remind us that we are not alone. Urge us to reach out. When we know of the need for more justice, more dignity, more freedom, give us the courage to bear witness to our values. Give us the humility not to have all the answers. O breath of life, Spirit of love, be with us now and in the days to come. Bring us peace when we need it. Lead us to extend peace and share it when we can. So may it be. Blessed be. Amen. And now let us take a few moments of silence. Blessed be, and amen. Thank you, Irina. This reading is entitled, The Unitarian Universalism that does not yet exist. It's a quotation from a series of conversations with ministers in our UU movement who are Black, Indigenous, or people of color. It was published a few years ago by our denomination, the UUA, in a book entitled Centering, Navigating Race, Authenticity, and Power in Ministry. The speaker is the Reverend Dr. Natalie Fenimore, Minister of Religious Education at the UU congregation of Shelter Rock on Long Island. She says, in 1972, United States Representative Shirley Chisholm was asked why she, a Black woman, was running for nomination to the presidency. "You don't have a chance," they said. "Why are you doing that?" And she said, "Because I am in love with the America that does not yet exist." And that's how Unitarian Universalism is also. I'm in love with the Unitarian Universalism that does not yet exist. But I have to hold both the love for that thing and the love for the current reality. It does not yet exist. It will probably not exist in my lifetime. I don't think it will in that of my children, but I can't deny my love for it. You know, I want to be there in that struggle.
This reading is based on part of the bylaws of the Unitarian Universalist Association, of which this church is a member. These are the 6 sources of our faith tradition, but this reading is in a different order from the official one. The sources of UUism are not a creed, but part of the covenant of connection among over 1,000 congregations in the UUA. We will alternate reading these to you, and you can see them on the screen.
Grateful for the religious pluralism which enriches and ennobles our faith, we are inspired to deepen our understanding and expand our vision. As free congregations, we enter into this covenant, promising to one another our mutual trust and respect.
The living tradition which we share draws from many sources.
Spiritual teachings of earth-centered traditions which celebrate the sacred circle of life and instruct us to live in harmony with the rhythms of nature. Wisdom from the world's religions, which inspires us in our ethical and spiritual life.
Jewish and Christian teachings which call us to respond to God's love by loving our neighbors as ourselves. Humanist teachings which counsel us to heed the guidance of reason and the results of science and warn us against idolatries of the mind and spirit.
Direct experience of that transcending mystery and wonder, affirmed in all cultures, which moves us to a renewal of the spirit and an openness to the forces which create and uphold life. Words and deeds of prophetic human beings, which challenge us to confront powers and structures of evil with justice, compassion, and the transforming power of love.
For our sermon series on Unitarian Universalism this year, we are talking about familiar UU hymns and then singing them. When Our Heart is in a Holy Place was written by Joyce Poley in 1996 and published in our teal hymnal. Joyce Poley has another song in the gray hymnal. Born in Canada in 1941, Joyce lives in the province of British Columbia. She's active in the Association for UU Music Ministries. The song celebrates the spiritual gifts inside each of us and the grace and power that emerge when we come together in community. Let's rise in singing 1008.
Our congregation's mission statement says, "We come together to deepen our lives and to be a force for healing in the world." We live this mission in many ways, including by the practice of generosity, by sharing half of each Sunday's offering with an organization working to heal the world. Our community partner for the month of January is the Black Child Legacy Campaign, which is a community-driven movement established to reduce deaths of African American children in Sacramento County. They target 4 issue areas, including deaths related to perinatal conditions, infant sleep-related deaths, homicide related to child abuse and neglect, and third-party homicide. Their programs target 7 neighborhoods, including our local Arden Arcade, as well as Del Paso Heights and North Sacramento, Foothill Farms and North Highlands, Fruit Ridge, Meadowview, Oak Park, and Valley High. You can find out more on their website. Please give generously in support of this important organization. On the slide, you can see the ways that you can contribute electronically or by mailing in a check. You can even text a donation, whether here or at home. It's posted in the chat box as well. Thank you for your generosity. This morning's offering will now be given and received. As the ushers bring forward the offering, please join me in these words of response. May generosity bless our world. May gratitude nourish our spirits.
Thank you, Irina, for that arrangement of Imagine. As the highest-selling song of John Lennon's solo career, Imagine has touched so many people, including many Unitarian Universalists. So much so that I didn't even think about having us sing it or printing the words so that you would see what they are, since I'm going to be referring to them in my sermon. So my apologies to those of you for whom it's not familiar or the lyrics are not familiar. The song has a vision of a world of peace without materialism, without borders, and without religion. It's idealistic and inspiring. And frankly, it's unrealistic. As a clergy person, someone who makes a living as a minister in a religious tradition, I have no worries that the dreamer's vision of no religion too will put me out of work anytime soon. On the other hand, when some people hear about Unitarian Universalism, they ask, is it really a religion? Indeed, many Unitarian Universalists ask this question. Some Unitarian Universalists don't want to claim that word religion. Given how much evil has been done by religious organizations, religious people, and religious ideologies, that is understandable. Fair enough. So long as you show up and participate, I don't mind if you call UUSS your religious home or call it your community recreation center. But consider this. The Internal Revenue Service says that we are entitled to tax-deductible contributions because the state considers us a religious organization. Please don't talk them out of that. And consider this question. If we're not a religion, when did we stop being one? Universalism and Unitarianism each began as a profession of belief by religious people. Their faith was unusual, of course. It was heretical for its time. The Universalists argued there is no hell and God is love. They did imagine a heaven, but everybody would be there. The Unitarians argued that every person is blessed with dignity and worth, as Jesus of Nazareth demonstrated by his ministry and his life, his very human life. This may be heretical, but it's religious heresy. In the 1830s and 40s, many of the transcendentalist thinkers in New England were Unitarians, or they'd been brought up as Unitarians, but they broke away and expressed their own heresies. One of them wrote that you don't need Bibles or churches, even Unitarian churches, to be religious. Another said in public that the values taught by Jesus of Nazareth would have been just as true, just as pure, if anybody else had taught those values. Condemnation of this message came from within Unitarianism and outside it. False religion, it was called. Now, it's part of our heritage. Also happening in the middle of the 1800s, Unitarian radicals moved to the Great Plains and the Midwest, and they started churches. This movement included a few dozen women ministers who served in Iowa, Nebraska, Michigan, and other places where the winter wind was biting. These liberal ministers didn't talk much about the nature of God. They emphasized religion as the practice of living ethically and participating in a community. If you are a humanist, you may be thinking that we stopped being religious when humanism took hold in this movement. How could we have so many skeptics, agnostics, and committed atheists among us and still be religious? Well, it's important to remember that the Unitarian ministers of a century ago, who, along with some others, wrote and published the Humanist Manifesto, were proclaiming religious humanism. Their words. They said that religions are a human creation, thus religion should serve human communities and meet the goal of human flourishing. Belief in a supernatural deity isn't necessary to practice this kind of religion, they said, but they didn't forbid it. These Unitarian ancestors claimed the name of religious humanism. I don't want to hide from the word religion. For one reason, I wish to honor those in our tradition who lived out the courage of their convictions, of their faith. In 1529, in the Kingdom of Poland, a person by the name of Catherine Weigel, was accused of blasphemy. She was 70 years old. They said she was a heretic for not accepting that Christ was the Son of God. That belief in the full humanity of Jesus would later be called Unitarian. When she recanted or denied this belief, the charges against her were dropped. But 10 years later, she was accused again. This time, Catherine Weigel didn't deny her Unitarian belief. And in the center of Krakow, she was burned at the stake at the age of 80. Her death happened 2 decades before there was an organized Unitarian movement, which was known as the Polish Brethren. These people were pacifists. They didn't take oaths or serve in the military. The Polish Brethren held their property in common, as they understood the early followers of Jesus to have done. They were a few centuries ahead of John Lennon's words, "Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger, a brotherhood of man." In the last 50 years, the UU movement has embraced a variety of spiritual perspectives. This includes Buddhist insights and practices and earth-based rituals. It includes the celebration of Jewish holiday traditions by Unitarian Universalists with Jewish backgrounds. It includes a new look at the New Testament and its narratives about Jesus and his parables. Furthermore, in recent years, a number of practicing Hindus and Muslims have joined UU congregations. Some have become our ministers. In this pulpit at UUSS, we have heard sermons from one Unitarian Universalist minister who is a lifelong Hindu, and from another UU minister who joined the Sikh faith as a young adult. Imagine a religion which could welcome all kinds of traditions and all kinds of people. Imagine a religion which respects our differences while celebrating shared values. Earlier in the reading by Courtney and Anthony, we heard the current list of the sources of our living tradition. It includes a variety of inspirations. When you hear it, or when I hear it, this list can seem straightforward, even obvious. Yet behind each line in that list of sources was a lot of arguing. Before the voting took place on these, some UUs expressed fear that adding this or that source would confuse who we are. It would make us look inconsistent or incoherent. Well, the last addition to the sources was 27 years ago, and we seem to be holding together fine. Back in the 1500s, the Polish Brethren didn't always see eye to eye. But when they had religious disagreements or other kinds of disagreements in the community, they used dialogue instead of resorting to violence. It's easy to imagine a religion like that, but to make it real calls for effort, patience, and love. In the early 1800s, American Universalist preacher Hosea Ballou said, "If we agree in love, there is no disagreement that can do us any injury. But if we do not agree in love, no other agreement can do us any good. As Unitarian Universalists, we can't be everything to all people, and we won't appeal to everyone. However, our tradition has been a spiritual home for countless people of goodwill. It has been a launching pad for people to work toward a world that is more just and more fair. I have one more story to recount for you. In March of 1965, in Selma, Alabama, African Americans demonstrating for voting rights attempted 3 times over a number of weeks to march from Selma to Montgomery, where the state capitol is. In the first march, Alabama state troopers assaulted people with clubs and police dogs. After that event, Martin Luther King called on white clergy to come to Selma. 3 UU ministers who did come were attacked at night by a white mob of men. The Reverend James Reeb died from his injuries. Following that, dozens of UU ministers and lay people arrived in Selma, as did allies from other religious traditions. The marchers did make it to the state capitol in Montgomery on the 3rd attempt. After the protest rally took place, the black demonstrators had to get back to Selma before it became dark so they would be safe. Among the white volunteers who took carloads of marchers back home to Selma was a young mother from Detroit, Michigan. Her name was Viola Liuzzo. As she and a friend drove back to Montgomery to pick up another carload, a car pulled up beside hers and a man shot and killed her. Formerly a Roman Catholic, Viola Liuzzo had been a member of the First Unitarian Church of Detroit for only a year, and she had been taking her children to church there. I can imagine that in the early 1960s, making a switch between religions like that was a gutsy thing to do. Moreover, Viola's husband was still Catholic. He didn't approve of her UU involvement or her driving to Atlanta. After Viola's murder, he held a Catholic funeral mass for her, or had a mass held in Detroit. It was attended by the governor of Michigan, the head of the United Auto Workers Union, and Martin Luther King Jr., and 750 other people, including UUs. 2 UU ministers called on her husband at the home at 2 different times, but he turned them away. It was not only Viola's husband who thought she had no business helping out in Selma. A few months later, a poll in the Ladies' Home Journal revealed that only 26% of American women approved of her action, while 55% disapproved. She was one of the few white women able to go who chose to go. Imagine a religion which motivates people of conscience to put themselves in harm's way to support other people in demanding dignity, safety, and equal rights. As a mother with children at home, this kind of venture must have been something that Viola couldn't have seen herself making earlier. Perhaps, however, something in the Unitarian Church inspired her to accept the invitation to go to Alabama. I don't want to imply that Unitarian Universalism is a better kind of religion than all the others. We have our appeal and our strengths, and we have our flaws and weaknesses. Of course, this is the best religion for me. It is my home. It is a source of guidance and accountability for me. And I assume it's the right place for you as well, unless you're just being a good sport this morning. Maybe you wanted to get out of the rain and are staying for the coffee. But even if we love this place and this tradition, we dare not imagine ourselves to be superior. UU minister Mark Bellatini has written that our work as liberal religious people is not to be competitive with others or to find ways to supersede others, but rather to find ways to supersede ourselves, to grow beyond our limitations and our constrictive boundaries, each and every one of us. Unitarian Universalism emerged from within the dominant culture of this country. The United States was founded and settled within a culture in which whiteness and white identity were at the center. It is a culture of white supremacy, in other words. Our UU tradition has reflected this culture by centering white identities. This has begun to change in recent years, thanks to brave and bold UU leaders of color, young leaders drawn to the promise of this faith, plus resilient UU leaders who have been here for decades. In a reading earlier, Dr. Natalie Fenimore, a UU minister of color, said that she is in love with a Unitarian Universalism that doesn't yet exist. But while she loves that vision, she says she must love the reality of the faith now as well. I said earlier that the dreamer's visions in the song Imagine are idealistic but unrealistic. Yet in many religious and social movements, idealism for something that has not yet been attained is a strong source of energy. Deep values can motivate us all. Inspired visions and faithful commitments can unify, connect, and sustain communities through setbacks and through hardships. You could say that Martin Luther King Jr. loved an America which was not here yet. In the struggle against racism, poverty, and militarism, he gave us a vision of that America. In quoting the prophets of the Hebrew Scriptures, Dr. King imagined a time in the future when justice will roll down like waters and peace like a mighty stream. His controversial, challenging, and courageous leadership did bring us closer to sharing the America of which he dreamed and which he loved as a possibility calling to us. Imagine a religion where people feel grateful and excited enough to invite others to share in it with them, and where we can be humble enough to know that it won't meet everyone's needs. Unitarian Universalism is not perfect or ideal. We have wide gaps to cross to reach the visions and goals toward which our values call us. But we can imagine a religion in which the awareness of our mistakes and flaws as a tradition won't make us give up or give in or go away. Our awareness will fuel our commitments and keep us dreaming. We can dream together. We can imagine. We can struggle and celebrate, listen and learn, reach out and offer help. And we can ask for help. Imagine we are not alone. Imagine we are connected and we are together. Let our imagination, our connections, and our values call us forward and sustain us, each one of us and all of us together. So may it be. Blessed be, and amen.
We extinguish this, oh, I'm sorry. On the slide are the words to read in unison for extinguishing our chalice. Please join me. We extinguish this flame, but we carry the light, the love, and commitment of this gathering into the days to come.
I invite you to reach out to us, reach out to one another. If you're at home, reach out to us as we reach out to you. May you depart in peace and return in joy. For all who see God, may God go with you. For all who embrace life, may life return your affection. And for all who seek a right path, may a way be found and the courage to take it step by step, one day at a time. Blessed be. Amen.